Off the Top Rope, Monday night, live at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, presented by SixPackCoverage.com. Your boy Ty Asbury is live with the Georgia Wrestling Machine, as well as one of the stars that came out of the Nightmare Wrestling Training Factory. I'm looking forward to talking to her about this school and what she's doing in wrestling. Hey, she does a smile in the ring. When you watch this episode, you will smile because she is one of the best wrestling talents in wrestling today. She is the one, the only, Kat Spencer. She joins your boy Ty Asbury live on Off the Top Rope, and this episode will make you smile, but also it is going to be sizzling. Check it out.
The Ropes Media. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Every chance you get to hear us, you clear us. Just the time on the radio. My opinion's my opinion. Every time you hear me now moving out, right on the stereos. Every podcast live, you know the feeling. This is the time for me to speak. You know the healing. I'm telling the truth and everything I.
We are live as live can be this Monday night. As I always say, it's Monday night and you know what's going down. Presented by SixPackCoverage.com. This is your boy Ty Asbury. In this episode, I'm calling this for all you fans something to smile about. Now, my live guest, she doesn't smile in the ring. You watching this episode, you will smile because she is here. She is just tearing it up, not only in the Georgia wrestling scene, she wants to be noticed worldwide. My live guest, Kat Spencer. How you doing?
What's up? Hey, what's up?
I'm doing good. First of all, it's an honor. Thank you for joining me live on this episode of Off the Top Rope. And tonight is all about you. And I just got so much I want to ask you about. You did the Nightmare Factory. I mean, you did the Coastal Championship Wrestling. I mean, you're just all over the place. But first and foremost, this is your first time being on the show. How you feeling about that?
I feel great. I'm really excited. I'm, as someone who's been closed off for a very long time, I love doing interviews now. Gets me open.
Yeah, well, actually, that's a good question. What do you mean, like closed in? Like, I guess you like the type of person you like to just keep to yourself, which there's nothing wrong with that. Or you just mostly laid back and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty laid back. And like when I say closed off, like before wrestling, I spent a long time just like shut away and didn't really talk to people in general. So like wrestling has really opened me up and made me come out of my shell a lot.
That's really cool feeling. Like what is it about? I would think probably number one is the fans, but what is the thing about wrestling that made you come out of your shell to be more like I'm gonna kick ass and do why you're here today? What made you come out of your shell, in wrestling area?
I mean, mostly just like being in the ring and having to like present myself to a wide group of audience, like a wide audience, and like get either get the fans behind me or sometimes get them to hate me. Like it's just and then on top of that, like just talking to people in general and like having to like again put myself out there in podcasts like with you or with other podcasts that I've been on, and just actually being open and like taking in conversation.
Now, usually when I have a talent on the show, I look at their name, like it's just like I like the name, like just a name could just flow, and like Kat Spencer, like it just hits you. Like is that your name, or how'd that come about with your name? Because it if you see it on a poster,
yeah,
you'll notice it.
Yeah, no, it's not my real name. But so it's funny because I had a hard time coming up with a name because I wanted to separate my wrestling and like my personal life, because I am still pretty much a personal, like I like to keep my personal business to me. And so I just wanted, not necessarily like no one can know my real name. It's just like I like to keep that side private. But I'm also someone who's terrible with names. Like coming up with names for a person, like that's the most terrifying thing to me, to having a kid, is just having to name something and it has to live with that name. um, but Kat came from Katarina Stratford from 10 Things I Hate About You.
Classic movie, that movie.
Yes.
I'm always thinking about that movie, and like now she brought that up, I gotta watch that. Like that's like definitely.
Yeah, exactly. And Katarina Stratford is like someone I've always like kind of understood and like connected with. Like I feel like she's my spirit animal, to lack of a better term right now. So I was like, okay, Kat. And then Spencer's always been, okay, I say I can't come up with names. Spencer's always a name that I have loved. And as a name, for some reason, has always been a name that I always went to for everything. And during our camp, I was trying to come up with my persona and what I wanted to be, and I was using a gimmick where I was a racer. I love cars, and being a racer, I was like, I want something that's like vaguely British, just because I F1 is my favorite type of racing. And so I was like, okay. And Spencer, I was like, Spencer is a great last name. And I realized months after I picked it that like I do enjoy the royal family as well. So Princess Diana's maiden name is Spencer. And I was like, that's why I was like, I should use his last name.
That's really cool how being a talent, you can just, something comes to you just like that. And like sometimes I know wrestlers who I've had on the show, they said they got to watch movies, read a book, or, you know, a friend or family member may come out to shoot them the name and they go, oh, I like that. Now, everybody watching the show live, can you probably maybe give us a hint of a name that you maybe threw at people? They were like, nah, I can't, don't use that. Did you have a name where it wasn't, you were grooving with it, but nobody else was really feeling it?
Maybe a play on, so I'm a huge, as you can, I don't know if you can see my display back here.
Oh yeah,
huge Batman and just comic book nerd. So there were lots of like names from comic books. Selena Kyle being one of them. Just trying to do a play on Catwoman. There were definitely a lot of comic book drawn names that I was thinking of, but then, and I think Sadie something was a name I was playing with for a while. And I'd just gotten Sadie from Red Dead Redemption 2 had just come out. So I was like pulling from that, but everything just seemed almost not unique enough.
Yeah.
Because it was coming from comic books. So there were people, I'm sure there's some wrestlers I haven't heard of that already have that name or something variation of it. So,
well, it sounds like you had that right mentality that you want that name to stick out. I think you always, either it's a move you do or especially your name, you want fans to remember you. That, you know, they keep coming back to see you. And I think Kat Spencer, I like it. I mean,
yeah,
it just flows out, has a good flow to it. Now, when you leave this episode tonight, what do you want fans to get from this episode you've been on the show tonight? Because I know you got millions of fans around the world. Your fan population is growing. What do you want fans to get from the show tonight?
Well, one thing, because I feel like it's a great message and it's a great way to get this message out. So the don't tell me to smile. Everyone's like, oh, it's just, you know, you just don't want to smile. So it actually came from a beanie I got years ago. And it's a stand against misogynistic comments, where as a woman, men have always told me, oh, you'd be more beautiful if you smiled. And it's just like, no, I don't need to like walk around with like and present myself for you to say I look pretty or beautiful. And my boyfriend John actually was like, you should put that on a shirt. And I was like, yeah, maybe. And we were playing with it, and his friend actually does a lot of our graphic designs for our shirts and stuff. And we were like, oh, I really like that look. And it's just more so
Speaking of which, there, right there, yeah. Yeah.
um and it's more just be like women's wrestling has grown so much since like the divas. And like I'm not in the ring to look beautiful. I'm not in a beauty pageant. I'm wrestling. Like I'm here to kick ass.
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
need to smile and be beautiful and like put on a show for you. I am here to just kick ass. And that's really the like true meaning behind that.
The one thing, Kat, that I see in this world, it could be social media, anywhere. It's, I don't know today if our society is like put downs and just people just can't keep their mouth shut. But I think we can use put downs or negativity to be motivation. Being in the business, have you ever experienced something that really somebody may have said that really you took it, it was negative, but you took that as a positive and you ran with it and never looked back? Have you ever been in that situation like that?
No, not directly. It's just more of um wanting to say like, here, I'm not here for it. Like I'm not gonna play to it. I did have maybe okay, maybe this falls under what you're asking. Actually, I think it was the show that you've been like clipping.
Yeah.
As I'm walking down the ramp, I looked at a little kid and he looked at me and he was like, "You're ugly." And I was like, "Ow." I was like, I mean, I went back and I was like, "Well, you're ugly." And then like went back with him, but I was like, I don't need you to think I'm pretty. This is
Yeah.
what this is. So I mean, thankfully I've been very fortunate of a lot of the promoters that I've worked for are not that way and have presented themselves as someone who's there to support women's wrestling. And it's good to see that it's there, but like I was warned going into the business about that, and just having something that already had that message for me, and like something I wear that beanie all the time. It is my favorite beanie. And like I mean I do have a very prominent resting bitch face and I win every time. But no, it's just more so it's just who I am and I'm putting it out there. I'm letting you know now, like, no, I don't
No,
care if you want me to be beautiful.
no BS. And I think the more you come to the ring pissed off, I think announcers, they'll probably, I wouldn't be surprised if announcers start saying, oh man, she can be meaner. Look at her, she's all pissed off. Because I watched a couple of your matches when I was getting my notes ready for the show. And I'm like, man, she's pissed off, man. Like, so that's good. That's a good thing.
I'm gonna say I make this face in the ring, and I've made it my entire life. My mom said when I was a baby, I made this face, and it looks like the most pissed off face in the world. She's like, you were 5 months old making this face.
Like, it's probably one of the pictures like, well, I guess she didn't want to eat her vegetables because we're kids and we don't like eating veggies. And but that's something, you have something going on,
Yeah.
and it's like you're never looking back. And I think just the like the pissed off face could be another shirt you can use. Like you said, your boyfriend's hit out of the park with the shirt you currently have, but you really have something cool going on, and I'm definitely loving it. Like Out of the Sky is like the most coolest thing in the world to do what you're doing, and really sticking to that kid when you went back and said, well, you're ugly too.
Yeah. I was like, ow, okay. And kids, it stings like 10 times worse. It's just like, ow, okay.
Now it's crazy how it's like January is almost pretty much over. Yeah, February 1st is tomorrow, which is insane. And 2022 is jumping off like really crazy. And if you look right now, I know you have many more to come, but you have like a pre 2022 memory in wrestling right now, or you still getting in the groove? Like it could be a match you had last week or 2 weeks ago. Do you have like a memory where you're like 2022 is gonna be pretty good, like in wrestling right now?
I'll say I would say yeah. I mean, based off of my last match of 2021 is by far my favorite match so far. It was against Rachel Rose at DPW. And by far, that's my favorite match I've had in wrestling. And I feel like it was a great close to 2021 and an open door to 2022.
That has to be like, if you can go back and rewind that back, what was your mindset going into that match? I mean, like what? I mean, is that? I'm sure that's something that will never let go. Go away from you. But what was your mentality going into that match and when it was over? Because you had to be probably like adrenaline was probably like 9 billion bazillion like crazy.
Oh, it was like, Rachel Rose is also the most experienced person I've gone against. A lot of my opponents are about as like new as I am and may only have a few matches more than me, a couple even less than me. So like it was very nerve-wracking at first, being like, oh, like I want to show that I'm on her level, or like I'm learning from her still. I can learn from her and not like be too like, oh, I know this already, like just trying not to come off as like an asshole.
Yeah.
And then like as we got to the match, I was like, oh, this is like I can trust her in the ring. Like I don't have to worry about like either one of us getting hurt necessarily. Yeah. Like it was someone I had great chemistry with too. Like it was one of my favorite matches.
And it's like, not only do you guys have really cool chemistry, but like you're building a network for each other, because other talent would see the match that you had. It's like, oh, I want to face, Kat, in the future, where we'll meet up. So it's just like, it seems like wrestling today is such like with social media and people can see each other's matches. It's like a big platform, building and wrestling. I don't know what to call today's wrestling, but yeah. It's like really, it seems like it's really easy to network today.
Yeah, it's really easy. Like, I mean, I've only worked in like the same circle, and a lot of my matches in the first year were against a lot of the same people. So that was the other like exciting thing going into that match. Rachel was that this was someone like entirely new to me. Not someone I'd run 3 matches with already and like doing the same things. And she's the first girl who was around my height too. So it was interesting taking like a similar move set to mine and implement it on someone else who's again my size and has a lot of the same moves. So yeah,
that's the thing about like, she's bringing the best out of you and vice versa. Now, talking about in-ring action here on the show, are there any moves you want to introduce for the new year that's kind of like poking you to try, or is there a move that you're currently doing that's really like taking off in the ring for you?
So I definitely am super excited about keeping my power bomb, but I want to get back, and I used it in my Nightmare Factory match, my Razor's Edge. I want to bring that one back. I haven't used it since that show. I've teased it once, I believe. Yeah, I teased it once, and I just want to get back to using that because I do love that move. Razor Ramon is one of the guys I looked up to, or like not necessarily looked up to because I'm really new to wrestling. Actually, I only found it in 2017. But like when I found wrestling, he was someone I went back and I watched, and I was like, oh, I love this guy.
Well, I'm probably gonna do the worst Scott Hall, and impersonation. Like he's like, "Hey yo," so like, yeah. Speaking of saying "Hey yo," Hey, yo, to everybody watching the show live tonight. And as we always do it here on Off the Top Rope, the comment section, if you want to ask Kat any questions, because she is here to answer any question you have, who she would be beating up next, definitely ask her some questions here on Off the Top Rope, because we're live on this Monday freaking night. Because as I said before in the opening, she doesn't smile, but I'm smiling. You should smile because she is on the show as well. Now, Kat, we talked about it before we came on the broadcast of, moving's crazy. You just like moving, just moving's a pain in the ass, and how we laughed about that when we came on the show. Now, if we go back and look at moving around in wrestling, this territory, this promotion, what's been some of your favorite places to perform at, and what's some places that you got your eye on, or maybe some town have told you, Kat, you gotta go there and wrestle because it's like off the hook?
Definitely, I love going to Delaware for Capital Championship Wrestling, CCW, because that's the furthest north I've been, and it's also 2 hours from where I grew up, and so it's like kind of dipping my toe into going home and wrestling. And it's also got a little bit of the Northern Territory wrestling. So I want to get more into the North, for sure. My boyfriend's from Jersey, so like we're really trying to get up to Jersey and wrestle. And also California. I've never been to the West Coast. Actually, the furthest west I've been is Alabama/Chicago. So I definitely want to get over to the West Coast and just see what that's about and actually experience it.
Well, I used to live in Jersey, and in Jersey, as far as the Indies, and I know CCW, they come over to the Flyers skate zone, but Jersey is a place to go, for wrestling as well. And Delaware, like I said, I grew up around the Philly area, so I know.
Okay, yeah.
You can't forget Philadelphia. Philly.
Yeah. I just want to get up north. Like I said, Delaware is kind of dipping the toe and right there.
Yeah, because you got that whole like Jersey, Delaware thing. It's definitely the place to go to and get your name out there. And you say you've only been wrestling not that long, but it seems like you've been a veteran for like 30 years, girl. You already like.
I try. Like I said, I found it in 2017, so I was like 24, 25. Yeah. And I go back and I try and learn the history. Like I can't say I'm a part of something and not really know what I'm talking about.
Now, everybody's a big Scott Hall fan. Including myself now. What's one of his matches that you constantly watch and it's like, damn, this match is so good? And how would you compare the match that he had like to yours? Any similarities in that context of something you watched with Scott and something that you've done?
I'll say my favorite match is him and Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam, I want to say.
95, the ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I haven't done a ladder match, so no. But no, as far as like similarities, I'm trying really hard to just stay tall, because sometimes I find myself like hunching over and like looking down. So like the biggest thing is I'm trying to pull from Scott Hall is just trying to look bigger and taller in the ring and just move like him.
Well, I remember when I was watching for the opening, the promo before we came on the show, I saw you walking out. I was like, damn, she's tall. Like that's all I was, I saw you come out like.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah, compared to a lot of the women, I'm 5'9", like almost 5'10", and so a lot of the girls are a lot shorter than me. So I just have to throw them around.
Well, hey, I can tell you right now, you can beat the hell out of me. I'm only like 5'3", so I'm a short little.
Oh wow.
So I'm like the singer. I'm like Skee-Lo, the little singer rapper guy.
Oh
so,
no.
Yeah, so but I'm really interested in it. I got this now. You're knocking and just killing, just taking it out of the park and just hitting it like a baseball bat out of the park for the Razor's Edge. Now, do you call it like the cat edge or the Spencer edge?
So
Yeah.
no, so that's part of it. I don't have a name for it. One, because I haven't brought it back, but when I in the Nightmare Factory showcase, I actually called it Finish Line.
I like that
because I was doing the racing gimmick or like yeah. But that's why I come out in the Corvette is I'm a car like I'm a total gearhead. Petrol head, whatever. I love it.
I was thinking actually I had it. I was I mean, I'm just going to just throw it out there. I think because when a car goes down the road, it's like a dead end. You don't know where to go. Even when you're racing, when you race cars, you should call it like dead end or something. I don't know.
Hey, I don't know. And that depends if I bring back the car. I was just like, I got to get myself over. I don't know if I can get myself and cars over right now.
Now, of course, you really brought up a really cool thing early in the show about the women's evolution of wrestling because I'm loving it too. I mean, other night I just love the women's Royal Rumble, AEW, Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker. They main evented the one episode, and I mean, you're a part of that, and you ladies, including you, are just going to keep going and going and going. Mm-hmm. So you just reached the pinnacle. Now, is there what's one thing that you would like to add that's never been done to the women's evolution of wrestling? Like, do you think about that, or you just go and just do it?
I'm more of just go and do it.
Yeah.
But I do, and this isn't like a jab at anything or anyone. I feel like there's going to be a second women's evolution.
Yeah.
Because like it went from we're not just beautiful women to put on a show. We can actually wrestle. So there's that one. And we've done great strides in, well, I say we, but everyone before me. I just get to join in now. But I feel like the second one is going to be stories.
Yeah.
Angles. Like, I feel like we don't necessarily know how to write a woman's fight without it just being a cat fight or something like small. So I feel like there's going to be a second evolution and just like learn to give a story to women that's not like we don't know how to handle it without making it sexist or like we don't know what to do with it. And like I said, it's not a jab at anyone, and I'm not saying like all the stories are trash and no one knows how to like portray women. It's just we're almost there.
Yeah, you're really close because I the way the women's evolution of wrestling is going now, including yourself, you guys have pretty much jumped over that line where you don't need the men anymore. I mean, like, get off of me. I got this, and it's really, like you said, too, it's going to, I think it's even going to be a different evolution, but I think it's going to be for the better.
Yeah. I mean, it's all still going in a great direction. It's not like, I'm going to keep saying it because I really don't want anyone to think I'm shitting on anyone or about anything.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's all going upward. It's all still going upward. I just feel like we just got to get that next level.
The next level, yeah. I can't. I mean, I'm so short, I can't get over it. But now I'm gonna roll a clip here on the show. Now, these places have really gotten you to where you're at today. And when I throw this clip up, I want you to give one positive thing about each and every one of them. So, you got Nightmare Factory, I'm sure you know these places. So what would you say about all these places that one good thing about each one?
Nightmare. I'll start with the Nightmare Factory. I love, and I'm so fortunate I got to go to the Nightmare Factory. They're amazing, and I can't stress enough and how much of a life change those 12 weeks were. And like I still train at the school. I'm in the advanced class and stuff like that. But the 12-week beginner class, I can't stress enough like how much that was a new chapter in my life, and it's going to stick with me forever. My CCWs.
You
Capital. Marcello is amazing. I talk to him regularly. Like, I talk to him all the time. I apparently can't say regularly. Um, but Marcello, like, he's great. He's almost like family to me. I told him, I was like, you give me the dates, and he right now gets priority. I'm sorry to anybody else, but Marcello's got my back, and he's had my back since he first put me on his roster. So I love Capital and Coastal Championship. They're great. They're my roommate and boyfriend, TSF. Also, I don't know if you can hear them yelling at any point. They're also doing a live interview. um, but they were on the show first, and I just I was helping hands. I did a roaming cam for that show, and they were like, "Oh, you're a wrestler too?" And I was like, "Yeah." So, and they got me on the next show, and they're so great. They're trying to they're talking to us about coming down to do their Florida shows, because we've only done their Nashville shows. So I mean, in DPW, like, I'm super excited. I've only done 2 shows because they're brand new, but I'm excited for where they're going, and their future looks great.
Great.
So
I mean, you got to like dance to all that stuff, and you just got to go on.
Yeah.
Like,
I talk with my hands a lot, and I don't know. Sometimes when I'm just like lost for words, I gotta find a beat. So I'm just like,
yeah.
all right, gotta keep going.
That's the thing about the show intro here for All the Top Rope. Every time I start the show, I'm like dancing in the background. I just love it.
Oh, I was vibing when you put on the music and the countdown. I was like, hey.
Just I want to tell everybody a sneak peek though, and the cat just hit the nail on the head. I do have a new theme coming up for the show, so stay tuned. I do have a new theme being made as we speak. So, but
okay.
Cat, you're not the only one who's been on the show that says, "Dude, like that beat's like I dance to it too, all the time." So, but now, Cat, this is the point of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I got to put you on the spot. I do this to all my guests. So this segment I call it "Damn Ty, That Is Good." It's gonna make you think. Now you ready? You ready to hear the question?
Yeah.
All right. So the question is: you being based down in Georgia, you get the thumbs up and the green light to put on your very own wrestling show. And this show, it will be a pay-per-view. Now, what would you call it, and what venue would it be held in?
Well, okay. So it's funny that you say this, because my roommates and I are actually kind of being put in charge of creating a show for the Nightmare Factory, run by the students, for the students of the Nightmare Factory. So that is something that's actually in the works, and we're a part of the production and the booking of it. So it's kind of funny that you asked that. So that being, am I limited to?
You could get as creative as you want to.
Okay. So, I mean, our venue is the Nightmare Factory. Right now, our working title is Nightmare Factory Wrestling. So NFW. As far as matches, this one I'm just gonna go out there and go outside our student base. Just so this one's a little, I will say this one's going to be biased just because I want it to happen. And for my boyfriend is compared to Johnny Gargano a lot. Nice. And he actually put out a promo a few weeks ago calling out Gargano. So just for him, that's that would be on the card, just because he's someone he looks up to, and it's just a Spider-Man meme match. Other than that, let's see. I would love to be on the card and wrestle Jade Cargill.
That'd be badass.
Yeah.
I mean, you and her both got the height, and that would. I'd be traveling down to Georgia to come see
Yeah.
you. Made my little short ass, so I'd definitely be down there. So,
I would love knowing Jade personally too, like through the Nightmare Factory. Like she's a great person. I haven't gotten to wrestle with her. I've trained and done some drills with her, but we haven't actually run a match, and something I really want to do.
Well, yeah, that's and if I came to that, you and Jade, you probably say, "Oh, Ty's here." You look down, oh, there he is. So yeah. I would pay to see you and Jade though. I would definitely pay to see that and respect out to her because I've heard from other talent that she's really cool and
yeah,
she's got some gold right now. So yeah,
she does. I mean, I root for Jade all the time. Like huge Jade Cargill. I would love to see. Just because when I found wrestling, I also got into New Japan. I want to see Kenny and Naito again. That's a really hard question. Damn, Ty. You're right. Damn, Ty.
I had to do it. People say, "Yeah, damn, Ty is good," because I stomp everybody with it. So yeah, so
that's because I don't know. There's so many matches.
I always do say if you could post like on your Twitter, say, hey, I was on the show, and because some guests have done that, they'll just post the rest of the answer. But that's the whole purpose of the show. I stomp you. So, but
yeah, I'm gonna have to all night. I'm just gonna be sitting there with a notepad, and if I get it, I'll figure it out and I'll tweet it. I'll be like, all right, yeah, you know what? Here's the rest of my answer. This is my real answer, not my. I'm gonna find answers.
Well, to wrap up this super sizzling, awesome episode of Off the Top Rope Live tonight, I definitely want to ask you what's up next. Well, first of all, no, I'm gonna pull it back up because where can we this shirt? How hot is this shirt going? You can go to Pro Wrestling Tees, but just tell everybody about the shirt. Can they still go on Pro Wrestling Tees to get this?
Yes, they can still go to Pro Wrestling Tees, and it's prowrestlingtees.com/the Cat Spencer. And actually, we just got an email. Let me double check the date. I think it's February 2nd through February 5th. Pro Wrestling Tees is having another sale. You can get 20% off. So get to it. Get to it.
Yeah. I think I'm going to get me one. Definitely, I can rock. Because like I said, I'm smiling because I wear the shirt, but I know you don't smile because that's what you do in the ring as well. And pretty much to round out the show, what's up next for you? Who's ass you kicking next? And what little kids you gonna be scaring next for your wrestling dates?
Yeah. Next I have GPW, Georgia Premier Wrestling here. It's in Jasper, Georgia. And then I think early next month, I'll be back at CCW Coastal Championship Wrestling. And that's all I actually have booked. I am very open right now to bookings, and I will tweet out my booking email. Because I had some shows and a couple shows got canceled. So hit me up.
Hit up this lady because when she walks into the doors of any promoter, she won't be smiling. She'll say, we got something going on here, because the one and only tonight on my guest on the show tonight was Cat Spencer. Of course, it's Capital, Coastal, Nightmare Factory. She is doing it all, and she's ready to branch out. If she does branch out, be very afraid. So, but Cat, I want to say most importantly, God bless. Thank you for coming on the show and stay healthy. And of all, I got to ask the number one thing of all, from 1 to 10, would you ever come back on the show and party it up again?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll give you a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you everybody for watching this episode of Off the Top Rope. And I got to end the show because everybody loves it. I'm going to kick on the beat and end the song. Kat, have a great night, and thank you very much.
You too. Thank you.
We out here. Peace.
The Ropes Media. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Tyrone Asbury. Yeah. Every chance you get to hear us, you clear us. Just the time on the radio. My opinion. Every time you hear me now moving out, like on the stereo. Every podcast live, you know the feeling. This is the